Hey guys, and welcome
Hello.
back to another episode of Dreams, Memes, and Veggie Supremes. This is episode 6.
I got you.
There will come a day where I will be able to say the episode number without cringing.
Off the top of your head.
Yeah, off the top of my head. Today we're going to be speaking about digital health. We've labelled this digital health a double-edged sword. And this is because there's tremendous benefit and both a tremendous negative of
digital health.
Yeah, digital health. Thank you for filling in the blanks there.
That's okay. You looked at me like you wanted me to finish
my
the
eyes
sentence.
went blank. I was just like, that's what we'll be speaking about today. But first, as always, we're going to jump into the pizza.
Pizza time.
So, what do we have today? I've forgotten what it's called.
Purple
Patch?
Purple Patch. It's called Purple Patch because there's
Eggplant.
eggplants on it. It looks very Mediterranean and very, well, I'll show you.
Phone cam, go.
It looks lovely. Got some lovely herbs and spices on there by the looks of it. Mm-hmm. The cheese is just melted on there. Lovely.
Vegan feta as well,
Yeah,
which
that's
I'm
right.
quite interested in.
Yep, so it looks really good as you can see. Let's get a bit of a close-up there. Ooh, damn. Well,
Thoughts?
very good. Again, very good. Definitely lived up to the expectation from the last podcast that we had. The meatball... cheeseburger pizza. Sorry, it was last week, so I can't remember.
Yeah, ages ago.
I can't pull too many faults with this one yet again. It's mainly for me, it's the base again. The base, just obviously it's systematic.
Same base.
It's a systematic error that they've got there. But it's not bad. It's just, there's room for improvement. And then the other thing is the texture.
Yeah, I was pretty much the only new thing I could say about this is there feels like there isn't a main topping, which most pizzas have that would give it a little bit of
Substance, like to chew
exactly.
through almost, isn't there?
But because all the ingredients are quite soft, like eggplant, feta, and then just the cheese and the base, pretty much. Exactly
right.
It doesn't feel like you're sinking your teeth into much.
Yeah.
Although when you do sink your teeth into it, it's very tasty.
Yeah, it's the taste. The taste is on point. It's more the texture, because even their base for me is more of the texture. It's not the taste of their base. It's more of the taste and the crunch, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, I'm going to give it a 9. It's still very high.
I'll probably give it an 8.5.
8.5. Yeah, just the taste there can compensate it enough for me to still give it a 9. But it's so good.
Still good.
Very
Gonna be
very
going
good.
back there sometime soon.
Definitely. Yeah, they've and let's just add the last 2 pizzas we tried, so this one and the one from last podcast, in their experimental kind of range. I think
Still
they
not
grouped,
finalised.
Yeah, I think they grouped the vegan pizzas in there. I'm not sure if they've got any vegan pizzas that aren't experimental or not, but this is a part of the experimental range, and I mean, they seem to be doing really well. So, good job, Gorilla.
Good job, guys.
And yet
Thank
again,
you.
we apologise for the setup. Bit of a weird setup, not our normal. Probably be. I'm not sure if it'll be good for next podcast, but
We'll see.
So, digital health. Let's jump straight into it.
Let's do it.
I think it's pretty important to start off with the definition here.
Go for it.
It sounds pretty spooky. Digital health. What is it?
How well my computer's doing. Does it need to go to the shop anytime soon?
Pretty much. Do you actually want to explain to people why you might not be speaking so much in this episode, and even the last episode?
I'm quite sick. I apologise. I have a really sore throat and it hurts when I talk.
I'm on my way there too.
You can hear it going as I get to the end of a sentence. It will just kind of start gravelling up and then I'll just go.
So, digital health is the convergence of digital technologies with health, healthcare, living, and society to enhance the efficiency of healthcare delivery and make medicines more personalised and precise. So, that's fairly broad.
In short form?
But what the aspects that we're going to be focusing on today?
Okay, that's fine. Just ignore me.
I mean, because it's not really short form that we're doing today. It's more so the aspect of what we're actually focusing on. So the aspects that we'll be focusing on, because I mean, like, here's one aspect that you could focus on, like a small one. We could be speaking about health monitoring chips that you put underneath your skin, and it measures your blood pressure, your blood glucose, everything about you, and it's synced with an app. And I mean, this is not too far off. Yeah, this is like a few years away. That's the epitome of digital health.
That's essentially a Fitbit, but inside.
Yeah, and way more technologically advanced, like way more application.
Yeah.
And be a tremendous positive. But today we want to speak about the way in which it's a double-edged sword, hence the name of the podcast, which is with specifically social media, and also, well, it's pretty much social media, and the spread of information to do with health information online. And so I guess, why is it a double-edged sword? Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword because it's got tremendous positives and tremendous negatives. So some positives off the top of my head is accessible. It makes it super accessible. It also allows people to take health into their own hands without having to be reliant on a professional. I can't think of too many more right now off the top of my head, but I'm sure once we get into the positives a bit more, we'll definitely be able to figure out some more. The negatives, which I feel as though I place more emphasis on, because I'm just that way inclined. I'm just a critical person.
Yeah.
I'm not negative, but
pessimistic. But
when it comes to health,
there are benefits to pessimism in certain situations, especially when you're looking at risk versus reward.
Yeah, I guess that's probably where I'm pessimistic when it comes to risk versus reward. Every other regard, I'm pretty positive. I feel that I'm very optimistic, like business ventures, self-development.
I'm so depressed. Help.
So the negatives is this accelerating the mental health epidemic, false expectations that people set, the spread of pseudoscience, giving people a platform for pseudoscience, and I can't really think of too many more now with what we want to speak about anyway. And then after that, we'll wrap up and give our final thoughts. So I guess we'll jump straight into the positives.
Yep.
What's your biggest positive that you find from digital health?
That I can literally just, if I'm curious about some aspect of health, turn to my laptop, open up Dr. Google. This is also a bit of a negative, which I'm kind of setting up in part, but I can just type it in, and if I know how to critically evaluate the sources, I can get some good information right there. And
that's the if that the negative is relevant to, because people don't know how to do that, how to critically assess a source, and they then move the reliance from like their medical health professional to Dr. Google instead of really relying on the best unbiased and critical view of the evidence that they've got accessible to them.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that we can literally pick up these devices that we have, like a laptop or a phone or a tablet or anything that's connected to the internet, and just be able to find and have this information.
Yeah.
We spoke about it a bit in our pseudoscience podcast, Pseudoscience and Health. If you haven't checked that out, a lot of what we speak about here is quite relevant to that. We speak about some implications and all the rest in that. It's crazy that I can go online and have access to the most recent journal articles to me, even if it is sometimes at a cost, to search up and find out the best evidence that we have on an issue right now. I just find that crazy. The fact that everyone's got the truth with them in their pocket, they just don't know how to find out how to filter it.
Yeah,
pretty much. The truth is there. I feel as though it's more like a needle in a haystack now. See, even when I'm speaking about the positives, I'm being negative, but it is like the needle in a haystack, and it's a golden shiny needle. It's fantastic. So if you can able to do that, if you're able to do that, then it's a massive liberating thing to have in your belt, you know.
To not rely on people that may have biases or quotas to fill and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Prescription handouts and stuff like that, especially.
Yeah, that's it. That kind of, the accessibility kind of does lean into the second thing that we had, which was you get to take the health into your own hands. So you're no longer reliant on these medical professionals who in a lot of cases charge a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that you just don't have. And you can actually take the health into your own hands. And it's just being able to know if that source is actually going to be helping you or not.
Yeah.
So if you think you're taking your health into your own hands by drinking charcoal lemonade, like we spoke about in the Nutrition Maths podcast, if you're going to be drinking what do they even put with it? Is it just charcoal? It's just charcoal water in it, but they call it dirty lemonade because it's fizzy. Is that right?
I think so.
It's fizzy, but just because it's carbon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, is that what they call it? Carbonated?
Yeah, that's right.
That's radical, man.
If you think you're taking your health into your own hands doing that and stripping your body of vitamins and minerals, then you're not, and that's because you haven't got the right information with you. To be fair, I can't really think of too many positives right now. Can you think of any more? Because that'd be a nice segue into negatives.
You can communicate with different people. You can literally you can find a doctor who's done a lot of work on the thing that you might be suffering from or something like that, and get in contact with them. Or
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can use the internet for that. Or if, say, they've got a big social media following or something, and they specialise in a certain area because of that. Like, I know I would have never found Dr. Gregor, who owns Nutrition Facts. For the most part, he's really good. He is really good for the most part, and just his mission statement is something really that you like. No matter how much you want to criticise him about cherry picking studies, like I do as well. He does cherry pick a bit, and he's not the best. Like everyone, he's got his flaws. Yeah,
but you cannot. That slight bias is still there, just because he's a human being.
Yeah, exactly right. But you cannot deny his mission statement. Yeah. His mission statement is something to be admired by any doctor. The fact that he puts out that much information and that much time and effort into nutritionfacts.org and what he does in his professional career, you can't deny that. It's something to be truly admired. So I would have never found out about him if he didn't have a good social media following. Yeah. And he's taught me a lot, definitely. Not saying I rely on him like a lot of vegans do. I would have never found out about him if I didn't know he had a big social following and all the rest. And yeah, that's a really good point in that regard. But you need to know how to be able to critically evaluate if that doctor's a quack, if he's good, how good is he, like where is he on the scale. Like Dr. Gregor's up on the higher end. He's a lot better. You need to be able to know how to do that, and how do you do that? And this is when I think the education system fails us. And I think I've brought this up like 2 or 3 times now.
The only way you can really reap the positives is if you, and even negate the negatives, most of them, is by being able to critically sort through the information. Yeah,
and we're not really taught. You're taught fairly extensively at university level. Yeah, but I feel as though
they put a massive emphasis on it at university, but it's useful for just about anyone.
But everyone needs it. I mean, like I've said, like if most of what you learn throughout your schooling is essentially critical thinking and source analysis and all the rest, like you can do anything, because like the education system isn't based around the fact that we have phones in our pockets and laptops in our bags that literally have access to everything, all the information that we know of. And so all you need to filter that information that you have, you don't need to be getting it from school, so you can get it from your devices, is to be able to critically think. There's that missing link in the middle. And I'm not saying that we should not be able to teach people math. People can teach themselves math if they want to. What I'm saying is that there needs to be a big shift onto placing emphasis in the education system on critical thinking, because people don't know how to do it, and like it's a hard thing to even teach.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it is. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. So the negatives, we've got mental health here, and we're probably not going to speak too much about just device use and mental health. Like obviously it's got implications there with how much you use your device, and like lack of sleep is one.
Social behaviours another.
Social behaviours. There's a lot there, but I don't really think we'll go over that aspect. It's more so social media and mental health. We've got written down on our documents, we've got mental health and expectations. There's 2 separate dot points, but they're pretty much just intertwined. The fact that people will set expectations of what they see on social media, and they think that's achievable for them. Yeah. Whereas though, when they're doing that, you're just instantly discrediting your personal journey, genetics, it's just pretty much genetics and environments. Yeah. Like it comes down to everything. It's genetics and environment. Obviously, you can break down those further, but if you don't have the genetics for the same as that person, obviously you don't. They could have incredible genetics, and a lot of the time, maybe even most of the time, of the people that are very followed on social media have good genetics.
Yeah, no doubt. A lot of the time.
Yeah. If they don't, a lot of the time they'll be on steroids and performance-enhancing drugs.
Plastic surgery.
Is
even that. In women especially.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of the time, steroids in men, and plastic surgery in women. Definitely not all.
Yeah, no, definitely not all. But it could even be the people who have that lacking in genetics have compensate for it with plastic surgery and all the rest.
Yeah.
I think there's not many people on social media who are just a normal person who look pretty good and put out good info. There's not many of them. And if you're gonna follow anyone, it'll be them, because I think more than likely they'll be the people who have a realistic view of this fact, that they have the expectations, because I think you can get in your own bubble when you're having plastic surgery or you've got amazing genetics and you just look amazing. You just get in your own bubble.
Why don't you just eat whatever you want and you'll stay shredded like me?
Yeah, I can do that. Why can't you? Like, totally disregarding the fact of individual variation. Yeah, you're just not doing it right. Just, totally disregard the fact of individual variation and assume that everyone's got the same genetics as you and the same steroids in your gym bag and where else, then that will work.
Yeah. But it becomes especially, I think, dangerous when those people then lie about it. Because then that does properly create the unrealistic expectation. It does.
See, I actually don't have a problem with people taking steroids. I think it's a personal choice that you can do whatever you want with your body.
Wouldn't recommend it, but...
No, definitely not recommended. I would vehemently advise people...
Benji, big words.
Vehemently advise people, aggressively disagree with people taking steroids.
Yeah.
But I don't care if you do take them or not. Like, if it was my clients, for example, and they asked me, like, hey Ben, should I start taking Tren? I'd be like, hell no. Like, don't touch the stuff. I was like, but if they go and do that, I'm not going to judge you any less or think you're any less of a person. I'll only do that when you say you're natural, or you don't even not admitting the fact that you're doing it and you have a big following. I think you're doing a disservice to your following if you don't, even if you don't put natural or anything. You should be able to tell people if 90% of your content is just you taking gym selfies in the mirror with your top off and you look amazing. You should have an obligation to tell people that, hey, this is not actually naturally obtainable. I've took this, I've took that. And I know it sounds weird, but I actually kind of have a bit of admiration for those people.
Yeah.
Because I know that those people might not be willing to say that they're doing that because of the stigma that's associated. And there shouldn't be a stigma associated with steroid use. There should only be the awareness that it actually is an incredible detriment to your health. As long as if we have that without the stigma, I think then we're good to go. Then we're going to have people saying, hey, I take steroids. I'm aware of the negative health implications. You should be too, but I take them because I want to. Cool. You do you. But don't tell people that you don't take them, or don't be silent on the fact that you take them or not. Also, don't tell people they're healthy and they should take them too. I don't actually think that these social media influencers and fitness professionals actually get the influence that they have. Obviously, the influencers. But they actually don't understand the responsibility that comes with that. To cite Uncle Ben from Spider-Man 2. I mean, everything's Spider-Man themed in this podcast.
Just Spider-Man, the first
Spider-Man.
comic. I'm trying out Spider-Man you.
You add Spider-Man to me? They don't understand.
It was actually Spider-Man himself that said it in the original.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So just leave that in so people know I'm the alpha.
So with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man. Cited in Spider-Man comic 49. Number 1? This is the first one?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Right, moving on from Spider-Man.
That's very cool. We're very cool people, we are.
So if you're going to use your platform, use it for some good and actually instill a realistic expectation of body image, physical achievement, and all the rest.
Progress rates.
Yeah.
Be as genuine as possible.
And I don't care if you post 90% booty pics. The only care I actually do care is like if you don't actually instill any of that and you just do a disservice to your audience if you do that. I don't think anyone should be posting 90% booty pics anyway. I feel as though if you actually know something about fitness and health, actually give some value. Like, even if it's not the best stuff in the world, like, at least just try and give some value out there.
Yeah.
We want to speak about the spread of pseudoscience because this is what digital health allows for. It allows for the spread of pseudoscience. Essentially gives pseudoscience a platform.
Yeah. We've spoken about pseudoscience at quite a bit of length in episode 2.
Episode 2, yep. So if you want to hear more about pseudoscience, please check out episode 2. We'll quickly define it now. You have a really good definition for it.
So the simplest definition of pseudoscience that I would probably say would be saying along the lines of false information that is posing itself as real science. So if you're not looking too closely, it looks like it could be factually correct and scientifically backed. But then once you start looking at it, you realise that, oh, wait a minute, that's not a properly designed study, and oh, this guy's got bias towards a certain result, and so on and so forth.
Definitely, yeah. I feel as though it tries to connect dots that are so far away and that require dots in the middle for that for that link to be made.
But the moment you try to add an extra level of explanation when then there doesn't need to be one is another big thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what's your thing with the chakra?
Yeah, so like the pseudoscience around, you having a life force, you having an aura around you that's generated from the 6 chakras in your body.
6 chakra points.
Six chakra points that are like,
I've seen the ruler.
Yeah, you've seen the images and all the rest. They actually line up with glands in the body. And so it's just like connecting dots that are just so far away. Like, okay, we do have glands in those positions. How does that transpose to them being energy centers of the body that all work together to make an aura field around you? It just doesn't make sense.
You get the basic science and then add an extra level.
Yeah,
it's like
but not just one level. It's often like 5. And there's so many things that require a substantial amount of evidence with the chakra thing. Like there needs to be so much more there for us to even say that there is such a thing.
Yeah, it's like me going, we've got these 2 mics. Both of them can record sound.
They can.
Both of them have an electromagnetic field.
They do.
Therefore, they're communicating with one another.
Wow, is that true?
That's all true except for the last bit. But if I put it a certain way...
Yeah, you were 66% right.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Round it up.
I would... Yeah, round it up. I mean...
Why not?
You'd be stupid not to say...
You?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be stupid to say that you'd be wrong in the next thing you'd say. Yes? You'd go by chance. So yeah, and that's what gets people. It's the trap, and that's the dark law of alternative medicine that we spoke about before.
Yeah, the dark
as well.
law.
What digital health does, it allows these platforms like these social media accounts, like even if a lot of the time they are like these Insta chicks who just post their booty pictures. They'll even be culprits of this, posting pseudoscience, like buy my slimming detox tea or something like along the lines. Some other pseudoscience.
Apple cider vinegar will make you skinny.
Use my 15% code for apple cider vinegar.
I actually use apple cider vinegar every morning and stay in a calorie deficit and do a lot of weight training. But the apple cider, I do that every morning.
Oh, that's how you get your gains, man, and your weight loss.
Loads of people train, and but I got really good results. So it's obviously
apple cider vinegar. So
we're very passionate about this.
And here's a semi-controversial thing to say. I think that they shouldn't even have their platform taken away. I think they should still have their platform. And this links into something that we definitely want to speak about in the future, which is like pretty much free speech and free speech and how that applies to health. And so we'll touch on a tiny bit of that now. And that's just, you want these silly ideas to be out there in the public space. You don't want to eliminate them because who says your free speech is more important than mine? Even though you may be more accurate, still the initial rights of being granted free speech in the first place shouldn't be different. The content might be bad, and your content might be even quite dangerous to be saying that. But the thing is, that's why we have the public forum, and that's why we have discussion. And this is why I never shy away from leaving a comment on someone's thing. I'm not trying to start beef. All I'm trying to do is have that public conversation, because it's so important. Because if you have pseudoscience coming up and there's no public information, that's when people get in their little bubbles, and that's when people start believing it. Like Byron Bay with no vaccinations. What are you doing, Byron Bay?
If you take away a platform, that would just drive it to somewhere where you can't criticize the idea. They might go on their own website and start
their own Discord,
really doing that stuff, and then from there you can't criticize it. Whereas if it's on an open platform, you're constantly free to criticize that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've actually just thought of a very abstract example of, it would be like chucking bacteria in a petri dish. on its own with no antibiotics, and so it could just grow in its own little petri dish. Whereas if you chucked it in the bigger petri dish but had loads of antibiotics in there,
yeah, exactly,
it's not going to grow because you've got the antibiotics, and the antibiotics being a
clear and concise scientific argument.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for filling in. I was trying to think of the word for not synonym, metaphor.
I think you mean simile as well.
Simile. So the antibiotics being a simile for the people who are calling out pseudoscience and having that public conflict, if you want to call it conflict. Although it's allowed for the spread of pseudoscience, I wouldn't want to necessarily stop that at the systematic level. I wouldn't want that to stop because then you're impeding free speech. I just want to encourage people to be able to speak about it openly in public spaces.
Yeah.
And just rationally and cool-headed, like you don't need to do it like an absolute knob. You can just speak about it from the evidence, from the science perspective, and just
take an impartial view of it. Don't get personally involved in. Don't start accusing people of attacking you or you attacking them or whatever. Just talk about the information in that case.
Exactly right. Yeah, and it's not
the information can't have its feelings hurt or
no, that's right.
Like that.
Yeah, if you just present the information just in an unbiased way, I mean, you're not going to come into many problems there, are you? Really, you've only got the information. That's it. I'd say we'll wrap it up there. Actually, it's a pretty good snapshot of the positives and negatives of digital health and the implications it has, especially with mental health and expectations. We spoke about that quite a bit. And also we're going to use this as an opportunity for a call out for like social media platforms. I mean, we have a social media platform. It's not very big. It's growing.
It's pretty big.
It's pretty big. Yeah. I mean,
just don't worry about that light. Ben's just
for the podcast listeners, the light just went off. We want to use this as like a call out for fellow social media platforms to really take pride in the information that they put out there and the messages that they put out there to their audience. Take every post as an opportunity to educate your followers. Obviously, we post memes now and then. Nothing wrong with a bit of fun now and then.
Yeah,
you don't need to use every post as an educational post or whatever, but just be mindful and have what's the overall message of my page. That would be very clear to someone who goes on a page. Go on a bodybuilder's website, and the main message is, "Hey, look at my pecs." Not to your own horn here, but you go on our Instagram page, and you know straight away that the main message is that we're trying to help people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are doing that now as well, which is good. More than ever before, I'd say.
More than ever, yeah, definitely.
A lot of really good information, even on Instagram, where you wouldn't expect there to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Or Facebook, so on.
Yeah, it's great.
Which is good.
Yeah, it is good. It's getting better, but still definitely issues there. So, yeah, that concludes it. It's a double-edged sword. There's a lot of positives there that we can really reap the rewards of, just if we know how to use it right. How we're using it right now is very debatable, as we're actually using it to its best extent. We're definitely not using it to the best extent, but
are we even using it to where it comes out as a positive?
Yeah, exactly right. Are we using it to is it actually a detriment to our health at the moment? And let's be aware of the power that it has individually, even if you don't think your platform's big. 500 people that we have on our Instagram at the moment. That's
half 1,000.
That's half 1,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, trying to get that many people in a room. That's a lot of people. So if you don't think you have an influence, you really do. So that wraps it up, guys. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys. Leave a comment below with any suggestions for podcast ideas, anything you'd like to see, all that juicy stuff.
Definitely. If you've got any points of criticism, or anything else that you want to add to the conversation, leave it below as well.
And the 5-star iTunes reviews.
Leave it there too. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys.